Sit back, relax. Playoff football is on the air. Pooch kick down by Brandon Cox for the Stallions.
I'm assuming that was on purpose. It looked like he kicked the top of the ball maybe to bounce it up a little bit, maybe catch us off guard, but we were there to down it. And that's what you're taught in football. If you're on the front line, the hands team, you catch that ball and you go straight down to the ground.
Okay, South Columbus with the football. Brady Ivy, the senior quarterback. And like you said, Brady Ivy has found his passing arm the last few weeks, and really I think that might be another key tonight is, Greene Central passes about 50 yards a game, but South has found a passing game in the last few weeks.
Looked like a face mask there. Wasn't called. Looks like a gain of about 3.
Tough running up the middle.
Can't see. That was number 6, Daquan Keel.
Yeah. Daquan Keel, good heads up. He runs low to the ground, real shifty. You don't expect a guy that size to be that elusive, but he does squeeze through and get some touch yardage. 2nd and 7 for the Stallions.
Yep. Maybe look to get something outside here, or maybe take Lee up the middle. That was the buck sweep there.
Classic South Columbus run. Buck sweep to the left side. Traquan Bellamy gets just enough to move the sticks and move it into Ram territory. 1st and 10 South Columbus on the Ram 49.
Our offensive line is getting a huge push on their defensive line, and that's probably going to set the tone all night also.
And that's what South Columbus like to do. They love to lean on you with that big offensive line. They love to run north-south instead of east-west and just pound smaller teams.
There's the counter play.
Bellamy on the counter takes the ball all the way down to the Ram 15. Bellamy got the ball on the counter, and he was off to the races. Nice hole on the left-hand side by that offensive line.
Yeah, back in the day, we used to call that play E-Town back when I coached with Coach Holly out here. E-Town left, E-Town right. It's been a good play for us over the years.
I'm telling you right now, if I'm Greene Central, I'm worried about getting into a track meet with South Columbus. 1st and 10 South on the 14th.
Yeah.
Traquan Bellamy for the South Columbus touchdown.
Weren't much defense there by Greene Central. We just overtook their defensive line and just pushed them back.
I think that's something if you're Coach Wooten from Greene Central, you've got to worry about. South Columbus is a big team, a physical team, and if they're getting that much pushed that early, by the time this game gets to the 4th quarter, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah. Now, Greene Central coming out on a defensive line looked pretty big. I don't know if they're our offensive line getting up under.
Cardenas lines up to pick the extra point. It's up, partially blocked, and no good, wide right.
Yeah, that's one of the few misses by Cardenas this year. He's usually been on the money a lot of times, but that time looked like it went off the right side of his foot. So,
all righty, our score after just a few minutes of action, South Columbus 6, Greene Central nothing. We'll be right back after a couple of quick spots.
And Friday, 8:30 until 4. For more information, visit carolinasportsmed.com. Since 1935, Columbus Regional Healthcare System has provided healthcare services to the residents of Columbus and surrounding counties. Today, Columbus Regional boasts an impressive and highly trained medical staff and other healthcare professionals who represent a range of specialties and are dedicated to the well-being of every patient in their care. Columbus Regional Healthcare System is a not-for-profit organization accredited by the Joint Commission of Accreditation of Healthcare Organizations. To learn more, visit their website at crhealthcare.org. Columbus Regional, helping you get back to you.
Okay, we are back. Just under 2 minutes, about 2 minutes, 15 seconds. South Columbus marches 60 yards on 4 plays, and they are into the end zone with a 6-0 lead here early in the first half. Pooch directional kick down to about the 30, taken by number 5, Saquon Connor. Connor off to the left.
Nice tackle.
And I'll tell you right now, it's a saving tackle because he had a lot of room to run.
By number 26, Luke Duncan made a good tackle on that on the opposite side. He stayed home over there, and that's what you're taught to do.
And that's going to be key, like we talked about in the pregame for South Columbus, knowing your role and make sure you got your keys and you do your job. Don't try to overdo. Do your job. Duncan stayed home and made a big tackle for South Columbus.
Looks like Greene Central's coming out in shotgun. Looks like trips right shotgun.
1st and 10, Greene Central from about the 35-yard line.
We got a tailback. Number 7's quarterback, which is A.J. Dupree. He's a sophomore. No, he's actually a senior.
Dupree keeps himself off to the left-hand side. Stout play by the defensive line of South Columbus. Brought down by number 35 for...
They took that option to the weak side of the field that time, so I don't know if they're trying to run to their bench or not, but he gained about 2 yards on that.
Nice linebacker play coming up to Phil. That was 35, Shamar Smith with the defensive end with a nice play. Dupree back to pass. Quick short pass to number 4, Knowledge Branch, one of the all-name team. Makes it a 3rd and short for Greene Central.
Yeah, he caught it right at the sticks. He just wasn't past the first down just far enough. Might be a big stop right here. Let's see what they got to do. Got to stop that option.
It's interesting. Both plays for Greene Central have gone away from the trips formation.
Yep. Don't look like he got it.
I don't think he got it. Great stand by the middle of that defensive line.
Yep.
I'll tell you, number 70, Josiah Small said, no, sir. 4th and 1 on the 40 on your own 45. Do you go for it this early in the ball game?
No, you got to punt this ball right here because you can't give South Columbus the ball again on their own 45-yard line. You got to punt it here because defenses show that they can make a stop. But it looks like they're going for it. May try to draw us off sides, so we need to make sure we stay home on this.
Very tempting, though. A.J. Dupree with the carry.
Yeah, I don't think he got it.
He
I got a good spot on the other side.
Oh, if I'm Russell Dove, though, you can't challenge the spot that's in the NFL. But if I'm Russell Dove, I mean, it looked for all the world like he was stopped before he got across that line.
The official on this side did not give him the first down. I think the official on the other side, marched it a little bit ahead, but that's okay.
Didn't need much, didn't get much, but apparently just enough. 1st and 10, Greene Central on their own 47-yard line. I think it's important right now, if you're Greene Central, you really need to get South Columbus defense on their heels, and you keep that prolific South Columbus offense off the field. Dupree back to pass. Drops a little bit high. The interesting, formation, we talked about this just a second ago. They're going away from the trips formation. They're challenging the backside, the weak side of that defensive alignment.
Looks like they're running most of their plays to their bench, and like a lot of teams do run a lot of plays to their bench, but they stayed on that right side hash a lot during this drive.
I'll tell you right now, I mean, they need to get something out of the second down because if you look at South Columbus, you can't give them second and a lot of yards to make. You got to keep yourself in makeable downs and distances if you're Greene Central.
Look for the long pass here. They've set us up twice on that hitch.
Dupree back to pass in just off the hands of number 25, Jada Evans. He was open, and he would probably have first down yardage.
Yeah, he ran a slant pass from the end position there, the split end position there, just thrown a little bit behind him. He had a lot of running room if he could have put his hands on that and tucked it in.
Looks like Greene Central is going to, is looking at you and saying, we're going to make you honor that pass to try to take some of the pressure. South Columbus is known for those big defensive lines that like to lean on you. They've already been stopped on a couple of short yardage plays. So I think what they're saying is we're going to take the linebackers and make you play at a decent depth so we can get our running game going.
Trips right again. See if they go to the large side of the field this time.
Dupree on a keeper. Oh, nice play by number 78. Big Marcarius Brunson, assisted by Luke Duncan. Fantastic play by the South Columbus defense, and it brings up a 4th and about 8 for Greene Central.
Yeah, every play's went set for that slant pass has gone toward their bench, so we'll see if that's something they're going to do all night and maybe can key in on it.
And I think you also risk trying to get South Columbus sleeping. Keep going towards your bench, and eventually that backside pass is going to open up. Greene Central set the punt.
Back deep, Rajon Graham for South Columbus. See if he can get a good return. A little short. Just going to let it bounce.
The old Peter call. Get away, get away, get away.
Greene Central downs in on about the 22-yard line. So we got about South Columbus got about 78 yards. See if they can hit pay dirt.
It only took them 4 plays last time, but if you're Greene Central, what defensive corrections have you made on the sideline? Because you cannot go down 2 scores to a team that can score as quickly and as often as South Columbus.
Well, they just got to stick to their game plan. They're only down 1 touchdown. They just got to stick to their game plan. They can't change up anything right now. Can't draw anything up in the dirt.
Brady hands the ball off once again to Traquan Bellamy. Bellamy around the left side picks up about 2.5 yards before being swarmed under by that Ram defense.
And I believe there's a flag on the play underneath that pile there. I don't know if it could be a holding on South Columbus or what.
It does look like a holding call.
Yeah, they're talking to Greene Central there, so it looks like South Columbus is going to be backed up some yards.
Again, makeable downs and distances. You got to get these teams running downhill.
See what the head umpire has to say about this.
Holding is the call. You got to have good eyes to see the laundry underneath all those big fellas down underneath.
Well, I saw it fall out right before the tackle happened, so I figured it was some kind of hold or something. Usually happens in that area.
I had to put the bifocals on. I still can't see that well.
Yep. So that gives us about a 1st and 20 from our own about 14-yard line.
Again, South Columbus loves to lean on you with those the big offensive linemen. They try to pound you in the beginning of a ball game and really get you going north-south, and just they wear down the 1A teams in the league very well with that.
Looks like the buck sweep to the left side.
Picks up a lot of that yardage back.
He's a hard guy to tackle. I mean, he's got a lot of moves. Traquan can move those hips and run upfield, and that's what you got to do as a running back.
Yeah. He's got very wide shoulders too. It's really hard to grasp him and just get him down on first contact, and he usually picks up a few extra yards after first contact.
Yeah, he keeps those feet moving. That's what you try to teach to a running back.
2nd and 7 for the Stallions. Ball on their 25-yard line.
Tate Lee gets a carry up the middle. Looks like he gains about 3 yards. Going to leave it 3rd and about 6 for South Columbus for the first down.
Tate Lee, very underrated runner for South Columbus. Runs very hard, very low to the ground. He's a lot like a Seth Buffkin was the last few years. He's a battering ram kind of running back. And you can key on the Traquan Bellamy's and the, all you want to, and the Rajon Grahams. And if you forget about Tate Lee, he will hurt you.
Yeah, he had a real big game against White when actually sealed the win for us over there at White.
Once again, South Columbus, dive football, ball given to.
It's like Tate Lee again. Looks like Tate got the first down by about 3 yards. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Stallions from their own about 35-yard line.
So 1st and 10 in 3 plays, moves the ball about 15, 16 yards, and here comes South Columbus on the drive once again.
That's the thing about South Columbus. They got weapons in the backfield. You don't know who's coming at you. They key on one person, and they just give it to another, and that's the mark of a good football team.
Once again, South Columbus on the march, 1st and 10 from their own 36-yard line.
They got split left, wing right here. Like another dive play to Tate Lee.
Tate Lee picks up about a yard, maybe 2, before being swarmed under by number 56, Terry Williams, for the Greene Central Rams. South Columbus, and it doesn't look like much. It doesn't show up a lot in the score sheet, other than a 2-yard run. But just those runs, just wearing down those defensive linemen.
Yep. I got split right, wing left here. Oh, great fake.
Wow.
That's the E-Town play again. That's that reverse play.
Counter tray works again for Daquan Keel. Yep. And when you've got 2 running backs that are that good, who do you key on? I mean, and 9 times out of 10, you're guessing wrong.
Yep. That actually faked me out a little bit there, to tell you the truth. That was really good fakes carried out through there.
I'll tell you, credit the coaching staff. These young men are taught very well. Tate Lee on the run once again. He is a wrecking ball.
Straight dive up the middle for Tate for about 8 more yards. That's 1st down for South Columbus again.
This was the game plan last week against East Bladen. Tate Lee in the first half, picking up big chunks of yardage that finally slowed down Tate and it opened it up for everybody else.
Yep. You know, South Columbus had the little fumble bug last week. Let's hope that we got it out of them this week. Wing left, split right. Motion man 14 given to 14, which is Grajon Graham off the right side. He's tuck it in. He's still going all the way. He's got one man to beat. He's in for the South Columbus touchdown.
Rajon Graham to the end zone on a, looks like about a 40-yard run. South Columbus goes up 12 with 4:12 to go in the first quarter.
That is a jet motion play, and sometimes you give it to the jet motion man or you just give it back to the fullback. That time we went to the jet man, and he got around the corner. Good seal blocks by the ends there.
If you got a chance to look at that again, watch Rajon Graham turn his shoulder to the inside, slipped off the tackle, and there was nobody left to get a hold of him. Once again, Cardenas to pick the extra point.
It's like he's going to redeem himself this time.
Point after attempt by Cardenas is good. And with 4 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the first quarter, South Columbus up 13-0. We're going to hit a few spots, and we'll be right back.
Originally, it's Armistice Day. Armistice Day was for the people who fought in World War I.
If you know or see a veteran, tell them thank you. Brought to you by CCCA Radio Broadcasting, WZCO 89.9.
This coming Veterans Day, take a minute to thank vets you know as well as the fallen.
On November 11th, 1918, the Allied forces and Central Powers signed a contract ending the Great War. Later, Woodrow Wilson declared that on November 11th every year, the American people will celebrate Armistice Day, later renamed Veterans Day.
This was influential because after the carnage of World War I, people believed there would never be another war.
In 1947, Raymond Weeks, a World War II veteran, came up with the idea of National Veterans Day to honor all veterans. The celebration had parades and other festives, and the event was held on November 11th in Birmingham, Alabama.
Dwight D. Eisenhower took Raymond's idea to change it from Armistice Day to Veterans Day to honor veterans of all wars, living or dead, not just from World War.
Okay, we are back. Quahim Giggets and A.J. Dupree back deep to receive for Greene Central. Hardy down 13. Ball taken by number 6, Jalen Williams. Once again around that left side. Shakes off one hit and gets a few extra yards. Greene Central will take over 1st and 10 on about their own 37-yard line.
Looks like a tackle by Drake Bracey. That's one of my tennis players. So glad to see him getting to the scorebook tonight.
For those of you who don't know, Brett Burris, prolific South Columbus High School tennis coach, went deep again in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, we had another great year at South Columbus. You know, I'm always fortunate enough to be able to get good players. They always make a good coach.
I do think good coaching has a lot to do with the year in, year out. The South Columbus tennis program is one of the best in the state.
You got trips right and one left. Using that dive option again. Quarterback number 7's running through the middle. Looks like he's going to gain about 8 to 9 yards and pulls through for the first down.
And you talked about this during the pregame. A.J. Dupree holds that ball in a long time and just until you're just absolutely sure he's going to give the ball off, and then he pulls that back out. And it worked for 10 yards and a quick first down for Greene Central.
He's reading what those linebackers are doing. When he sees a linebacker go to the back, he just tucks it in and takes it. So he's just reading linebackers there. Their offensive line got a really good push that time.
Once again, Dupree in the shotgun. Hands the ball off to number 4, Knowledge Branch. And Knowledge Branch looks like he's headed all the way to. No, he stopped just at about the 5-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle by number 14, Rajon Graham, chasing him down. You thought for all the world that Knowledge Branch was going into the end zone.
Yeah, South Columbus there, they're getting beat off the ball there on the defensive line. Offensive line is pushing South Columbus back. South Columbus needs to be a little bit stouter here if they're going to make a stop.
Once again, this time he does hand the ball off.
That was Knowledge Dupree again with the carry. I think he got maybe a yard, half a yard, but not much.
Knowledge Branch, I mean, there's not a lot to be had in the center of that defensive line. I think the way to go at South Columbus is to go at them off tackle because their defensive linemen are just too stout up the middle.
This goal line defense is very strong for South Columbus. It's going to be really tough for Greene Central to beat this defensive line here.
Dangerous play. A.J. Dupree gets it in the end zone for Greene Central, but I'll tell you, he was dangerously close to. He tried to pull that ball out, and the running back wasn't ready for it, and it went off high. But he was able to corral it and take it into the end zone for a Greene Central touchdown.
Yeah, that run pass options been a little tough, especially when the quarterback is keeping the ball. Defensive line really don't know who to tackle. You just got to tackle everybody that comes through there.
Great play by a pulling guard for Greene Central too. I mean, that's typical. I mean, that's just good football. You follow your pulling guard, and he'll take you right into the end zone.
And that's big for Greene Central to come back and score a touchdown right there, because this was being a runaway, and Greene Central showing they're going to come back and play some football.
Jet sweep by Greene Central.
And it's good. That's 2.
Cornelius Smith takes the handoff into the end zone, and it will be a Greene Central 2-point conversion. Our score is South Columbus 13, Greene Central 8, with 2 minutes and 58 seconds to go here in the first quarter. We'll take a quick break.
And highly trained medical staff and other healthcare professionals who represent a range of specialties and are dedicated to the well-being of every patient in their care. Columbus Regional Healthcare System is a not-for-profit organization accredited by the Joint Commission of Accreditation of Healthcare Organizations. To learn more, visit their website at crhealthcare.org. Columbus Regional, helping you get back to you.
Mitchell and Judy Bowen have moved the country nursery beside Highway 130 on the left just past Lowe's of Whiteville.
So that's where they went.
The country nursery still carries a large assortment of lawn and garden plants and products. The gift shop has a variety of bows, wreaths, and signs for seasonal decorating. And they always carry a selection of current style t-shirts and jewelry.
Okay, we are back. Another pooch kick picked up by South Columbus on about the 41-yard line. South Columbus looked to run away, but Greene Central says not so fast, and they come back with a quick touchdown drive of their own.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Dove was not happy with his defensive line there, because the defensive line looked to get pushed off the ball a lot that offensive drive. So I'm sure he's got a lot of words to say to his defensive line about getting up there and being a lot more stout.
The way to beat dive option football, as you well know from your many years of coaching, is you have to get defensive penetration. Mess up that mesh point, and you're going to have a better shot at defeating the dive option. Brady Ivy under center.
Jet motion, the same play scored on a while ago.
Traquan Bellamy around the left corner, running downhill once again, picks up a good 13-yard line before being taken down by the number 5 for Greene Central, Saquon Connor, but it does move the chains and brings the ball very quickly back into Greene Central territory.
Split end did a great job that time using what we call a stalk block, stalking their corners and giving him a lot more room to be able to run.
And we talked about this a little bit in the pregame. Can Greene Central score at the same rate as South Columbus? Hand off once again to Daquan Keel. Keel around right side, picks up 8 yards. South Columbus running downhill once again. 2nd and 3 on the Greene Central 37-yard line.
Greene Central's having a real tough time stopping South Columbus run game. I mean, South Columbus really don't need to pass because they're gaining, 5, 6, 7 yards per carry. So you just watch South Columbus just dig it in and keep on probably running that pigskin.
And that's what Russell Dove wants. He wants you to suck up those corners and those safeties to try to stop the run and loosen up that passing game.
Got wing right, split left, jet motion across again. Looks like it's give to Tate Lee up the middle. Looks like about a 6-yard gain for a first down by Tate.
You've coached a number of years. You tell me, who do you key on if you're Greene Central right now? If you key on Daquan Keel or Traquan Bellamy, there goes Tate Lee.
Yeah, well, you've noticed they've used that jet motion across the field 3 times, and it's been given to 3 different players. So you really don't know. You just got to know who you've been told all week to focus on, and that's who you got to focus on. It comes one-on-one then.
South Columbus once again with a 1st and 10 on the 30-yard line. Once again, that counter Trey works for South Columbus.
Rajon Graham looks like he got about 12 more yards for South Columbus and another first down.
I'll tell you, Rajon Graham, it doesn't really do him justice to see him on the TV, but if you get a chance to see Rajon Graham in person, he's a very strong, very stout kid, and I'll tell you, he is so hard to bring down.
He is. Real good kid in the classroom also. I've had the good fortune of being able to teach him in class. He's a real good kid.
Okay, once again, first down again for South Columbus. Counter Trey back again.
Oh, good play by Greene Central. Number 14 for Greene Central made a great tackle. Actually don't have his name up on the board, but that was a good play of staying home and knowing what you're supposed to be focusing on.
I mean, that is reading your keys. That's the way Coach Wooten probably drew it up in practice.
But that's the way to stop that.
South Columbus in 4-down territory. And if you're Greene Central, you need to stop now. You cannot go touchdown for touchdown with a team like South Columbus.
Yeah, you can't go in a shootout with them. Tate Lee again up the middle. Looks like he gains about 7 yards. I think it's going to be about 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 for South Columbus on their own about 10-yard line.
And this is how South Columbus likes to play football. Manageable downs and distances. There's so many plays in your playbook for 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 4.
And South Columbus doing a great job staying away from penalties tonight. You know, South Columbus is a heavily penalized team, and we've only had one so far, and that's a real clean game for us, or for South Columbus.
Once again, counter Trey to Traquan Bellamy. Bellamy just bulldozing everybody trying to get that pile to get into the end zone.
I think he's got enough for the first down. It's going to be 1st and goal for South Columbus from their own 5-yard line.
Once again, these running backs for South Columbus, we are at the end of one. Your score right now, South Columbus looking to score once again. South Columbus 13, Greene Central 6. We'll hit a few spots, and we'll be right back.
Remember, the Country Nursery is now located beside Highway 130, just past the Whiteville Lois store. Open Monday through Friday, 8 until 5:30, Saturday, 8 until 4. For more information, call 640-6660 or at the Country Nursery Facebook page.
E.W. Farmville and Son Feed, Seed, and Garden Center located at 205 Railroad Street in Tabor City has been serving customers since 1931. They carry a large selection of seed and locally grown plants for the garden and stock a variety of pet, feed, and outdoor supplies. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturday, 8 to 1. The phone number is 653-2959. Jake Farmville is his family's 4th generation to serve the greater Tabor City area. Jake and his father, Leon, are proud to support CCCA athletic broadcasts.
Okay, once again, we are back here on 89.9 WZCO, the Columbus County Schools. Unfortunately, we weren't able to carry it. If you go to the National Federation website, we are streaming on the National Federation of High Schools. Dive up the lead once again. South Columbus get into the end zone for the touchdown. Looks like Tate Lee, I believe, on the carry.
Yeah, that was a great play by South Columbus. We ran a great fake, just a dive straight up the middle, and, you know, with Tate's strength, he pushed their defensive line into the end zone to score.
You've got this Greene Central defense on their heels, and you and I were talking about this during the break. Does Greene Central have enough offense to go score for score with South Columbus? They're averaging about 18, 20 points a game, and South is pushing that already. South going for 2.
Got a jet motion over to the side. Same play they've scored touchdowns on again, and they score another 2 here.
Traquan Bellamy makes it a 21-8 score, and South Columbus has not been stopped yet on offense. The only time they stopped themselves was on that penalty, and Greene Central looking for answers right now.
Yeah, Greene Central, they got a defensive plan, in order, but evidently it looks like that defensive plan's not working. So maybe they may try to change some things and make some adjustments. That's what good teams do. We'll see how Coach Wooten over there makes a change.
And if I'm Coach Wooten right now, I'm thinking maybe they've gone away from that trips, that trips motion and that kind of offense. And I'm thinking this is the point where you're going to have to show South Columbus you've got a passing game. You've got to take those linebackers out of the equation, get them at normal depth, because South Columbus says, you know what, we know A.J. Dupree, we know we can run the ball, we know he's a good ball player, but show us you can pass the ball effectively and take us out of our rhythm.
Yeah, I think you want to see Greene Central trying to go back to that passing game because they've seen South Columbus on film, and they know South Columbus struggles a little bit, defending the pass, and we'll see if they try to go to that.
Once again, directional kickoff taken by number 8, Tavon Barnes. Barnes, unfortunately, going the wrong direction. He started off on about the 40 and he's now back on about the 36.
Yeah, he's whistled down about the 36, and the ball came out, but he was down before the ball came out. So Greene Central will start on their own 36-yard line.
I think another key right now, I know we're early in the second quarter, is you've got, if you're a Greene Central, to get that South Columbus offense off the field, and you need to give your defense a break.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure their defense is winded over there, and hopefully this offense can, get some yardage so they can give them boys some breath over there.
Once again, A.J. Dupree is in the shotgun. Hold that dive fake a long time. Knowledge Branch finally gets the ball, and he is taken down 12 yards deep into the secondary. South Columbus uncharacteristically were gang tackling, but they were tackling high. And Fred Knowledge Branch was keeping his legs moving and moving the sticks.
Greene Central's done a good job on the offensive end of making some changes, and they've actually keeping South Columbus back on their heels a little bit defensively.
Okay, Dupree once again in the shotgun. 1st and 10 on the 48. High snap. Dive action taken. Around the corner, Knowledge Branch.
Oh, that was a touchdown saving tackle by Traycon Bellamy. There was nobody else there to stop number 14.
Credit to the offensive tackle and the tight end for Greene Central turning that play in. The defensive end nowhere to be found, and the corner was had.
Yeah, Greene Central's offense is showing up right now, with the run play. That dive option's giving South Columbus, a tough time.
And again, if you're South Columbus, you need defensive penetration. Defensive penetration, destroy that mesh point, and you'll win this ball game going away.
They got trips right again.
Once again, Knowledge Branch. This time South Columbus up to the task and gang tackled by the South Columbus defense.
Yeah, there's about 7, 8 black jerseys around that tackle, and that's what you teach. Everybody wants to check in. Did a great job of making tackles.
And we talk about this each and every week, manageable downs and distances. There's more plays for 2nd and short, 3rd and short than there is for 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13.
Tate Lee did a great job just getting some jersey and holding on, waiting for his other Stallions to come help him out.
Local score, Northeastern 14, Fairmont 0.
Greene Central comes out in the same formation each time.
Wow, did he hold that mesh point. South Columbus has to honor that, and he gets about 4 yards off it. But did you see how long Dupree rode Knowledge Branch?
And actually, he was riding him as he was running upfield. South Columbus's defensive line is getting pushed back a lot.
They just don't know who to tackle at this point. He rode him for a good 4 yards.
Looks like 3rd and about 7 for Greene Central.
And I think this is the time, once again, they'll probably go back again toward their bench, try to get the weak side of the defense.
Yeah, they're loading up on the left side here. Let's see if they go to the weak side toward their bench. Yep, we called it. Nothing there, though.
He tried to ride number 24, Cornelius Smith. South Columbus was very content to let him run east and west. The minute he turned his shoulders, South Columbus defensive line, in the person of Marcarius Brunson, had a big tackle.
Looks like it's going to bring up about 4th and 6 for Greene Central, and I'm sure they're probably going for it. It's 4-down territory here.
I think you almost have to. You can't go. South Columbus has yet to be stopped on offense, and you've got to match them score for score at this point. Okay, 9 minutes to go in the first half. And right now, if you're Greene Central, you've got to pick up this first down.
Strong right, weak left.
Dupree back to pass, being pressured by the South Columbus defense.
He's got a man wide open, number 3. Just overthrows him. Number 3, Giggets, was wide open in the end zone, just couldn't get it to him.
Credit the defense of South Columbus with the pressures, made him throw on the run and made him throw that ball just offline, and just that much of a movement causes an incompletion. South Columbus will take over on downs.
That was a big stop for South Columbus. We'll see here now if Greene Central can make their first stop at a ball game.
And I think if they don't, this is going to get to be a very short night and very short order for South Columbus. The winner of this game between South Columbus and Greene Central will play the winner of Bertie and Southwest Onslow. Hand the ball off on the
Rajon Graham.
Rajon Graham takes the ball off on the right and cuts it back toward the left and picks up a first down for South Columbus.
Running the buck sweep, that's South Columbus's play for 25, 30 years. Ever since I've been here, we've ran the buck sweep, and it's paid great dividends for us over the years.
And I'll tell you, Russell Dove's exact words, we are going to do what we do. We're not going to change. We're going to run what we run, and we're going to out-execute you. And so far for Russell Dove, it's been very successful.
Jet sweep coming across again, number 3, Bellamy.
Wow, A.J. Dupree showed you why he's, a potential talent, for a scholarship. I don't think I've seen somebody run that fast.
Came up and make a big tackle.
A.J. Dupree is not on my watch. Coming from the safety position, that's a long way to go.
Well, South Columbus hadn't put it in the air all night, and their defense is starting to read that. Maybe South Columbus might, sneak in a little pass here just to keep the, defense off their toes.
And South Columbus will do that. They start to catch you creeping up. Ball handed up off the middle. And smart heads up play by number
Latrell Brown for South Columbus on the carry. It was like no gain. 3rd and about 10 for South Columbus.
Jacoby Waters on the tackle for Greene Central. And if you look at Greene Central's defensive alignment right now, they're saying, okay, show us you can pass now. Because if you look, they have nobody more than maybe 5-6 yards off the ball. Counter-traded. Raekwon Bellamy.
It looks like he's got the first down.
I'll tell you, they just do not have an answer for that counter trade. Raekwon Bellamy takes that counter, and by the time you get a white shirt on him, he's 6-7 yards deep in the secondary.
Well, the plays that South Columbus run before that play actually sets up that play to be a big play. And, just Greene Central, just didn't see it coming. They thought the buck sweep was going to go this way again, and they just come back with that counter trade, that E-Town play.
And I'll tell you, if you watch South Columbus play, they're not going to trick you. They're not, going to be very intricate unless they have to. They're going to run their base plays, and they got to prove that you can stop them. Ivy back to pass. You got a man deep. And we got a pass interference call. He's begging for it. He's like, yes.
Yeah, number 7, Dupree, just ran straight into him, didn't give him a chance to catch the football. I mean, anybody from the stands could have made that call. That was a great call by the official.
And I think if I'm A.J. Dupree, I'm almost willing to make that call and go ahead and interfere with him because he had a step on him. If you watch here on the replay, he knew he was beat. He'd rather foul him than give up the touchdown.
That was a what they call a waggle divide pass, where the wingback comes out of the backfield and just runs straight up the middle. And that's the play that South Columbus scored on Whiteville over at Whiteville, pretty much to open it up.
And I'll tell you, Rajon Graham doing a great job trying to draw the call. Looked like he was playing basketball, trying to draw a charge there. Again, this is not a spot foul in high school football. It's a 15-yard foul. 1st and 10, South Columbus on the Greene Central 25-yard line.
Straight dive to 24. Tate Lee runs up the middle. Looks like he's gained about 4, maybe 5 yards. Good heads-up running for Tate Lee.
Tate Lee runs low to the ground, real hard, heady runner. And I'll tell you, I mean, you just come back from that long pass play, and these defensive linemen they're getting gassed right now.
South Columbus right now sort of looks like a well-oiled machine out there, and it's tough to stop them. Greene Central's drawing at straws on how to stop them defensively.
Ball handed off once again to Rajon Graham.
Graham fighting for yards, gets inside the 10-yard line, looks like to the 8-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal for South Columbus.
South Columbus, always with that bevy of running backs, you pick on one, next man up for South Columbus, 1st and goal. And if you look at the Greene Central defenders right now, I see a lot of hands on hips, a lot of people trying to get their breath, and just this is what South Columbus does. They wear you down, and by the 3rd and 4th quarters, I mean it's hard to stop this machine.
Yeah, Graham got about 8 yards after he was first touched, so his feet kept churning and churning. Tate Lee up the middle. Looks like for about 3 yards. We've got the jet sweep, straight dive up the middle for Tate Lee.
And like you said previously, they're going to hit you with that dive, and they'll come back with that counter, and they catch you sleeping, and before you know it, they're in the end zone. But what a difference a week makes for South Columbus. They had that big win 2 weeks ago against Whiteville. They had to come right back and play another really emotional game against East Bladen. They had 4 turnovers, some mental mistakes, and some penalties last week. And as you said previously, this has been a real clean game for South Columbus.
Yeah, it looks like South Columbus is really focused tonight.
Traquan Bellamy around left corner. Looks like he's going to dive toward the end zone. Second contact, and he's in for the touchdown. Traquan Bellamy with an 8-yard touchdown for South Columbus. South Columbus goes up 27-8.
That's just a sweet play around the left side, and he just fell back and looked for his hole. And when he saw his hole, he just turned on the jets and put it in the end zone.
You see Lay come. You see Bellamy coming around to the left-hand side. Fantastic block by number 14, Rayshawn Graham. Took on 2 defenders, walled them off, and Bellamy could have walked into the end zone.
Looks like everything's going right for South Columbus tonight offensively. I don't think Coach Dove's got a problem with anything that's going on.
4:41 to go. South Columbus looks to go for 2. And I don't think that one's going to work.
Yeah, somebody missed a block and let big number 64 come through there. I think it's 65 come through there, Darren Barefoot, and make a outstanding tackle on the 2-point conversion.
Okay, our score, 27-8, South Columbus up. We'll take a couple of spots. We'll be right back on 89.9 WZCO.
0229.
Knowledge can prepare students for a successful future. At BB&T, we encourage the pursuit of knowledge on and off the field. Because when students participate in sports, they learn important things, the benefits of teamwork, the power of preparation. That's why we're a proud sponsor of high school and college athletics, and why we offer banking programs designed just for students, so they can start moving in a brighter financial direction today. BB&T.
Member FDIC.
Okay, we are back once again. South Columbus, the well-oiled machine that they've been in the last couple of weeks. Still undefeated on the season. Looks to tee it up again, up 27-8. Still 4 minutes to play in the first half. Guess if there's any consolation, if you're a Greene Central fan, you're looking and saying, you know what, we still got a whole half of football to play.
Yeah, and offensively, Greene Central hadn't looked that bad. You know, they've actually moved the football on South Columbus a little bit, just hadn't been able to put it in the end zone the last couple of times. So, you know, look for Greene Central to do the same exact thing they've been doing. They just got to, you know, just convert.
And if I'm Greene Central right now, I'm looking and saying, you know what, I really want to take this ball and go ahead and drive it.
South Columbus kicks it deep to Giggets, and looks like the
ball's
on the ground. I think Greene Central maybe got it back. That's, you know, they probably wasn't expecting South Columbus to kick it deep because South Columbus don't kick it deep a lot, and you know, changing things up a little bit.
I think that might have been the longest kickoff for South Columbus the entire school year. Knowledge Branch gets back on the ball, and looks like it's going to be Greene Central with a 1st and 10 on their own 26-yard line. And as I was starting to say, if I'm Greene Central right now, I want to take this clock all the way down and end the first half and not give the ball back to South Columbus with another chance to score. A couple of first-half scores: East Bladen 6, Beddingfield 6, Southwest Onslow 27, Bertie 0, and Wallace Rose Hill 14, Whiteville 7.
That Whiteville Wallace game is probably going to be a really good game. Got J.P. Price down there going up against his old stomping grounds there, and I know he's excited to go into Wallace and play and show what he can do with the team.
Knowledge Branch with a quick 10 yards for Greene Central. It was going to be 1st and 10 Greene Central on their own 40-yard line. Dupree in the shotgun once again. Gives the ball off to Knowledge Branch. Branch tries the right-hand side, and there's just nothing happening right there.
Yeah, Knowledge Branch is looking for holes, and there was no holes opening up, and he just tried to duck his head and find something, and a whole corral of Stallions came in and made tackles.
And South Columbus finally picking up on that dive option, and they're stringing it out to the right hand, to the outside. And South Columbus, when they see that ball go to the outside, those linebackers are fiddling like crazy.
Seems like Greene Central has had got a lot more yards when the quarterback seems to keep the ball himself. So you may see the quarterback Dupree maybe keep the ball a little bit more because they've had some success with the quarterback keeping the ball.
Once again, Dupree's proven to be a great running back, but you've got to loosen up. I mean, look at the South Columbus defensive line looking for all the world like they're going to blitz at this point.
Dupree did a good job reading what the linebackers are going to do and just ran it to the outside. We got a flag on the ground. It looks like it was thrown toward the South Columbus bench. I don't know if something happened at the bench over here or what.
And I'll tell you, I mean, credit Dupree. South Columbus had 10 in the box, and he still picked up about 10 yards. It actually looks like about 14.
I think South Columbus coaching staff may have been.
Okay, sideline interference. I think what happened was the official was trying to come down to catch the play, and he had to weave his way through the South Columbus coaching staff, and that was the call.
Well, you know, there's a line out there, and the players have to be behind the white line. I think maybe there were some players, you know, outside that white line, and the official couldn't get by, and that's an unsportsmanlike penalty. That's 15 yards every time.
That's a mental lapse by your get-back coach.
That was me back in football days.
Dupree hands off to Knowledge Bland, up the middle. Gashes the South Columbus defense. The branch all the way down to the South Columbus 5. Big first down if you're Greene Central and you're hoping to get back in this ball game.
I don't know if you noticed, but number 12, Cole Dawson, actually took that snap for Greene Central. I don't know if something happened to Dupree or not, but Dupree has came back into the ball game.
Okay, now a couple more first half scores. Northeastern 20, Fairmont 0. Allegheny 7, East Columbus 0. Okay, first and goal for Greene Central, trying to get back in this ball game. Precious seconds to go in the first half. Dupree hands off to Knowledge Branch. Branch picking his way through the South Columbus defense. Picks up about maybe yard and a half. It'll be second and goal.
Yeah, the goal line defense for South Columbus is very stout. You know, you don't have a lot of places maybe to throw the ball or whatever, but South Columbus is probably where they come up big on this goal line defense.
Like you said, South Columbus goal line defense very stout. You can't run a lot of east and west against this defense and make headway. You got to pick your spots, and maybe a C gap run here. All the way around the corner.
Cornelius Smith running for the touchdown for Greene Central on the pitch, man.
I mean, if you're Greene Central, that's a big, big score. You can, I mean, right down there, down 27-14. These are big points you got to pick up before the end of the first half. Every point precious. With that score down 13, they've got to start coming back into this ball game.
Yeah, offensive end for Greene Central does a great job holding his block and pushing our defensive end back into the end zone.
Greene Central going for 2. Dupree in shotgun.
Dupree tries to go up the middle. Looks like he's going to fail for the extra 2. South Columbus makes a stand.
Okay, our score 27, South Columbus 14 for Greene Central. And you have about a minute 58 to go for South Columbus to try to get this ball back into the end zone. And I'll tell you, South Columbus has shown the ability to do so.
Yeah, if I'm Greene Central, I'm like 2 minutes on the clock. They can still score. So what Greene Central wants is to make a stop here and go into the locker room. Down 27-14. I think they, the momentum sort of shifted a little bit to Greene Central if they can make a stop here.
And I think this is where South Columbus opens up that passing game. I mean, Brady Ivy has shown the ability, the senior quarterback, to really find, he's found his arm the last couple of weeks, and he's really been able to pinpoint his passes. South Columbus can move the ball very quickly, and they still have 2 minutes on the clock with the ball stopping on first downs. Do not give up on that running game either.
Yeah, I'm sure South Columbus and Coach Dove has got a 2-minute offense in, and back in the day we used to work on that 2-minute offense at the end of every practice. So I'm sure they've got a lot of practice on a 2-minute offense.
2 minutes to go, 3 timeouts. All your South Columbus with a bevy of weapons to go to. If I'm Greene Central, this is going to be a big 2 minutes. They can't go back down 3 scores going into the second half.
Yeah, this is big for both teams right here on, how the momentum in the second half is going to go. Line drive kick up the middle to number 31, which is Trail Brown.
Brown's not a name that South Columbus fans are used to hearing, but I'll tell you, shows himself to be very elusive. Gets the ball all the way up to about the South Columbus 35, 65 yards. If I'm South Columbus, I try a couple of runs, pick up a first down or two, and Brady Ivy has shown the arm he can get it to the end zone. I think that kid had it on his arm and like he's trying to get his watch off of him.
Greene Central was trying to go for the strip there for a turnover, but Latrell did a good job of holding on to the football.
Nice run by number 14, Rajon Graham. And a real heads-up play by the wide receiver who was blocking. The play came behind him, went on the cutback. You saw the man turn his back, and for a lot of high school kids will go ahead and make that block anyway and get caught with a block in the back. He put his hands up and made sure.
We had a pulling guard there, Tanner Barnhill. Real quick lineman we have. He kicks out, and actually couldn't find nobody to block because everything was so bunched up. He just did a great job of coming out and trying to find his block and trying to get his boys some extra yards.
South Columbus with their first timeout. We have 1:41 to go. Still a ton of time, an eternity if you're a Greene Central fan at this point.
Yeah, that's what South Columbus is going to do. They're going to try to, run the clock and, try to get some first downs. And like I said, they got 2 timeouts in their pockets. They got plenty of time to score here.
And let's not forget, Cardenas does have a leg. He can kick that thing from a good 30, 40 yards out.
Yeah, he knocked down about a 32-yarder over at Whiteville, which was really big to put South Columbus up by 2 scores.
Ivy on the counter tray once again. South Columbus picking up the first down. He's around the corner. He just steps out of bounds. He just ran out of real estate, Rajon Graham. He had one man to beat, and that man got just enough of him to put him on the chalk. Otherwise, Rajon Graham was headed to the end zone.
Yeah, he did a great job of running with his head up. He saw that the inside was clogged up, and he, just turned it out to the outside and, made a good run up down the right side.
Just that quickly, South Columbus on the Greene Central 35-yard line with 2 timeouts and plenty of time to go.
1:34 left.
Ivy on the counter trade to Traquan Bellamy. Bellamy cuts back inside. Still not down.
Still fighting for yards. The flag comes in from the back judge.
Generally not a good sign.
Yeah, that usually is probably a hold, probably against South Columbus, which that's what South Columbus did not need in this situation. We'll get the call from the official.
Face mask called against Greene Central, and that's going to take a second and about five, and take it 15 yards down the field. South Columbus.
That's going to be a first. I think that was the 5-yard.
That was the incidental.
There. Yeah, that's the incidental there. So it's only 5 yards, but it does give South Columbus a first down on their own 31 on Greene Central's 31-yard line.
South Columbus takes the ball from the 26. Traquan.
Great move.
Graham jukes, dumps, and dives, and he is into the end zone for a South Columbus touchdown.
Well, that took probably about 40 seconds there. We thought they had about a minute and 59 seconds to go, but South Columbus didn't need that time.
Watch this replay. Watch the moves by Graham. So elusive. Turns his head downfield, makes one move to the corner, and he is off to the races.
He's showing off his basketball skills on the football field there.
Brian Edwards somewhere here on the South Columbus coaching staff is saying, save some of that for December. We will open actually here on December 7th with our basketball coverage this year with South Columbus playing East Bladen.
Yep, that's exactly right. That is, if South Columbus doesn't, postpone games because of football.
Handoff once again up to number 7, Traquan Bellamy. He is in for the 2-point conversion. Our score now, 35 for South Columbus, Greene Central 14. Greene Central, I think, just hoping to get into the locker room at halftime here and try to make some defensive adjustments.
Yeah, Greene Central has had a real tough time stopping South Columbus tonight. South Columbus putting up 35 points in the first half, and I know Greene Central didn't want that coming over here.
And I'll tell you something, South Columbus, I think, making a statement tonight, I think they took a little offense to being only a 3 seed. I think they were hoping for a little higher seed.
Yeah, South Columbus was probably thinking they were going to get a number 1 seed, and probably strength of conference is probably something that knocked South Columbus down a little bit because the Three Rivers Conference has, in a 1A, 2A conference, has some, weak teams in it, and that sort of hurt us during playoff time.
Absolutely, but South Columbus making a statement. They are here to be reckoned with, and good second round matchup if they can get by Greene Central tonight with the winner of Bertie, who they played a few years ago in the playoffs, and Southwest Onslow. Those of you who are from the Columbus County will remember a few years ago a 7-2 ball game that is still being talked about in some of these areas.
We try to forget about that here in Tabor City.
Ball kick pooched once again, goes toward the sideline, taken by number 8, Tavon Barnes, and number 8 for South Columbus, Alejandro Noyola, and number 22, Jordan Johnson.
Yeah, Jordan Johnson got up talking a little bit to the guy he tackled, and I don't think Coach Dove really liked that too much because we don't need to give him a 15-yard penalty there.
I'll tell you, they will call it tight here in the playoffs. They're not going to put up with any kind of junk. And Coach Dove, an old school kind of coach, does not like that at all. Dupree with just about a minute to try and do something to try and bring Greene Central back into this ball game. Pass to number 9, Zachville Smith.
And I think he gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
And I'll tell you, smart heads-up play by Noyola with a quick tackle. Avion Bellamy on the tackle as well. Stops him before he can get too far.
Clock stopped with 57 seconds. Greene Central on their own 43-yard line.
Dupree back to pass once again. Flushed out by the South Columbus defense. Intercepted by South Columbus, coming back the other way. Jordan Johnson with a big interception for South Columbus, and South Columbus with two timeouts and 29 seconds right now. And if you're Greene Central right now, you're just holding on for dear life.
Yeah, Dupree probably should have just tucked that down and ran it because everybody was covered up, and he had some running lanes there, but he was thinking that, hey, we need to score, so I'm going to have to do something big, and ends up turning it over for the Rams.
Dupree, fantastic athlete for Greene Central. Just like you said, pressing a little bit, and South Columbus right now, 39-yard line is an eternity before halftime.
And still got, I think, 2 timeouts left, maybe
yes,
one.
Sir. 2. Bobby back to pass, throws the fade route. Oh!
Nice play by number 24 for Greene Central, which is Cornelia Smith. Great play.
Cornelia Smith breaking up a sure touchdown. And, you don't draw it up better than that for a defensive back.
South Columbus still with 25 seconds left, second down and 10 from their own 40-yard line. From Greene Central's 40-yard line.
And clock stopped, which is even better for South Columbus. Counter Trey once again to Traquan Bellamy. Bellamy around the left side.
Bellamy's smart to get out of bounds there. He knew that he was getting ready to get tackled. He needed to stop the clock and save one of those timeouts. 19 seconds left. What about 2nd and 5 from the 35-yard line of Greene Central?
And if you're curious, if you haven't watched South Columbus play this year, Brady Ivy can get the ball to the end zone from here. South Columbus with about 19 seconds and 2 timeouts. As you very alertly said, he saved those timeouts. South Columbus has got maybe 1 or 2 more plays where they have to throw the ball in the end zone. Ivy back to pass once again, rolls right, throws back, crosses body. Oh, big defensive stop by number 5, Saquon Connor. And Connor just gets fingertips on it, averting a sure South Columbus touchdown.
Greene Central playing some really good defense with their corners and safeties, coming up making 2 big plays to save touchdowns here.
And we're talking about game-saving plays if you're Greene Central, because one more South Columbus score and you can pretty much write this one off.
South Columbus going to have one more chance from their own 35-yard line to get into the end zone. 12 seconds left.
If I'm South Columbus, I'm almost not afraid to throw this short and run those backs long and maybe try to hit something underneath and get toward the end zone.
Nothing there. That's going to be a turnover on downs.
And I think if I'm South Columbus right now, Barry Lurley says, you know what, we may not get to the end zone, but, I mean, I'm happy with a 35-14 score if I'm Russell Dove.
And probably Greene Central going to come out here and probably just take a knee and get into the locker room and talk about what's going on.
Talked to Russell Dove before the ball game, and he will tell you this is who we are, this is what we do. And Russell Dove, like I said, he's got to be happy with the way this is turning out right now. Russell Dove, probably the toughest man in the stadium right now. If you get a chance to watch him on the sidelines, it's about 29, 30 degrees, and Russell Dove is down there in shorts. The fashion plate that he is.
Looks like Greene Central's going to try a play here. It's a reverse play to number 2.
Jabari Barnes gets the ball on the reverse. Nothing happened, and South Columbus was not fooled, and we got a halftime score of South Columbus 35, Greene Central 14. We'll be back after halftime with probably have Kelly Jones come in and talk a little bit about what's coming up in South Columbus with Columbus County Schools and the arts programs, and we'll be back with another great second half of football.
E.W. Farmville and Son Feed, Seed, and Garden Center located at 205 Railroad Street in Tabor City has been serving customers since 1931. They carry a large selection of seed and locally grown plants for the garden and stock a variety of pet, feed, and outdoor supplies. Open Monday through Friday 8 to 5, Saturday 8 to 1. The phone number is 653-2959. Jake Farmville is his family's 4th generation to serve the greater Tabor City area. Jake and his father, Leon, are proud to support CCCA athletic broadcasts.
First Bank provides financial products for both individuals and businesses. This includes checking and savings accounts, debit and credit cards, personal and business loans. First Bank also offers digital banking for your smartphone, tablet, and personal computer. First Bank has been in business since 1935, open Monday through Thursday, 9 until 5, Friday, 9 until 6. Tabor City Branch Manager Jessica Davis and her staff at 102 East 5th Street are glad to help bring you this evening's broadcast.
Overby School Services is your home for Jostens products. Local Jostens representative Charles Overby offers an assortment of jewelry and regalia to commemorate your high school achievements and memories. Overby School Services partners with your school to provide graduation items like caps, gowns, and announcements. Charles Overby will be visiting your school soon. To learn more about Jostens products, they may be found online at jostens.com.
Tonight's game on WZCO is sponsored by Parks Thomas and the staff of Rigglewood Mutual Drug.
Every year on November 11th, we celebrate Veterans Day for those who are active and retired.
In 1919, Veterans Day originated as Armistice Day. Armistice Day was for the people who fought in World War I.
If you know or see a veteran, tell them thank you. Brought to you.
Okay, Brett Burrs, we are back. Second half action. Alfonso Cardenas looks to tee it up and kick it off down to Dupree for...
That's actually Giggets in the backfield for number 3 for Greene Central. They received the ball here in the second half as South Columbus elected to receive in the first half.
Once again, that pooch kick, fair catch, called for by number 8, Tavon Barnes. I think he got tired of going the wrong direction.
South Columbus does a great job at that play. I mean, you get it up in there and you're scared of somebody that can return it, and you're giving it to them on about the 35-yard line every time, but you don't have to worry about somebody returning it on you.
Okay, if you're, let's talk Greene Central right now. If you're Greene Central, how do you get yourself back in this ball game?
Well, it starts on the defensive side. You've got to stop South Columbus. Now, Greene Central has shown that they can run the ball a little bit, just hadn't been able to convert on 2 or 3 possessions. We'll see what they got here.
Ball hands off to Knowledge. And I'll tell you, Knowledge Branch, and you can't tackle Knowledge Branch high. That's the second or third time South Columbus have tried to get him up around the shoulders, and he just keeps his feet churning, picks up about 12 yards on the first down.
Well, if you're Greene Central, that's what you wanted to do on the first play, gain about 15 yards on a run play against South Columbus.
I think the other thing, if you're Greene Central, you need to have long, sustained drives, keep the South Columbus offense where it can do the least damage on the bench.
Pro formation for Greene Central.
Hand off the left side. Knowledge Branch once again. Knowledge Branch looks to take the ball. all the way down to the 15-yard line of South Columbus with about a 28-yard run.
Yeah, you get 14 yards and come back with 28. You must have got a good talking at halftime to come out and fire it up, ready to run that ball down South Columbus's throat.
Russell Dove on the sideline, just biting his tongue right now. South Columbus has to get some defensive penetration. Hold it on the Knowledge Branch. Finally gives the Branch off the right-hand side. Branch picks up about 6 yards.
Looked like a shoestring tackle there for number 20, Jaquan Jordan for South Columbus. May have saved a touchdown there.
South Columbus not getting that defensive penetration they got in the first half. And Rams picking up yards in big chunks on this first drive.
They got 2nd and 4 from South Columbus's 10-yard line.
Once again, to Knowledge Branch. Branch trying to pick his way. Number 70, Josiah Small for South Columbus. He's just a hard person to get out the way.
Yeah, he held on to him a long time and threw him down, and the referee looked at him like, son, that's enough. So, they're playing football. That's what it's all about, and it's physical, and everybody's here to do what they can do.
If you get a chance to look at it right now across the South Columbus defensive line, there's some big hosses for high school athletes.
There's a lot of chicken legs out there on the dinner plate. You can believe that. And Greene Central's got some big boys, 62 and 56, 75, some big boys across that line also. So there's, two big offensive line, defensive lines here.
Dupree on the keeper, off to the right-hand side, picking through in his way, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown.
56 for Greene Central. Terry Williams had a great kick-out block there to seal that and let the number 4 Branch take it into the end zone.
Okay, once again our score now, 35-20. South Columbus in the lead. Greene Central, what they needed to start off the second half to get themselves back and make this a 2-score ball game.
And this is not what South Columbus wanted coming back in from halftime. South Columbus wanted to make a stop and get the football back in their hands, and Greene Central wasn't seeing it.
Unfortunately, it's injury timeout for South Columbus.
Who's that coming off the field for South Columbus?
Looks like defensive end Shamar Smith.
May possibly be a cramp.
Could be a cramp. Maybe got stepped on.
We have a couple of updates at the half. It's Northeastern.
Looks like that cramp bug jumped up and got him. We'll try to watch and see if he can walk it off on the sidelines. So South Columbus don't want any injuries, if they can go deep into the playoffs.
Allegheny up 14-0 on East Columbus right now.
See if Knowledge Branch gets this ball again.
Fantastic defensive play by South Columbus.
Was that Noyola that made that play there? Oh, they got the 2 there.
I think he faked all of it.
Tackled the wrong person. Dupree kept the ball and took it into the end zone himself.
Oh, if I'm Wooten right now, I'm hot because he faked out even the official.
Sure did. If I'm Coach Wooten, I'm probably hot on the sidelines over there after you're going to take 2 points off the board for me.
Tough
You don't
call.
see that a lot in high school football, but it was an inadvertent whistle, and the rule is that it goes back to the offense, replay the down. So actually that takes off 2 points off the scoreboard for Greene Central.
Red Dupree with a fantastic fake, though. I think every one of us up here saw it, that tackle was made.
Yeah, well, you can't blame the referee. He saw what we saw, so, everybody's human.
I was looking to see who made that tackle. I had no idea he had saw the ball.
Let's see if Greene Central can redeem himself right here.
Off the corner by number 24, Cornelius Smith. He's around the corner, and he is into the end zone.
South Columbus defensive end got sucked down on the inside, didn't do his job on that side, and that's what caused them to be able to get to the outside and score there.
Okay, South Columbus up 35-22. Those points might have been a big factor if they didn't get them, but South Columbus is now up 13, and this is still a ball game. And this is something we talked about in the first half, Brett. Can Greene Central keep scoring with South Columbus? Now, this is going to be the key point in the ball game. If you're Greene Central, what have you drawn up at halftime to defeat, to stop the South Columbus offense? Because they were not stopped in the first half.
Well, I'm sure they went into the locker room and made some adjustments and looked at maybe some film if they had the opportunity to do it and tried to figure out what they can do to make a stop. But it's going to be hard to stop South Columbus. I don't care what kind of adjustments you make. They're going to run the ball, straight at you around the side, and that you don't know which way they're going to go. So it's going to be, big to see what kind of adjustments they make, but it's going to be tough adjustments.
You can't. You got to stop South Columbus from scoring points. You can give up, lengthier drives, but you cannot allow South Columbus to put this back to a 3-score game.
Kick to Brown again, number 31. He bobbles a little bit, picks it up. 31 on the left side, goes up the sideline, gets a block. He's going up to about the 50, and he's tackled out about the 49-yard line of Greene Central.
Latrell Brown has only touched the ball a few times, but he's come up big in big moments for South Columbus.
Yep, that was a big run for him in South Columbus to get really good position on the field. Anytime you can get into their territory or right at the 50-yard line on a kickoff, you're doing a good job.
1st and 10, Stallions on their own 49-yard line. And as we were just saying, if you're Greene Central, you cannot allow South Columbus to keep scoring points. Ball handed to number 14, Rajon Graham. Graham up the middle, picks up about 5-6 yards.
Moves it into Greene Central territory on their 47-yard line. 44-yard line, actually.
This is typical South Columbus football, and this is where those big offensive linemen wearing on you really start to show up in the second half, and they test your conditioning. And they've had you running east and west for so long, and they start gashing you up the middle.
South Columbus 2nd and 2. Run up the middle by Tate Lee. Does a good job turning his feet. Carries a lot of tacklers and gets about a 12, 13-yard gain for a first down.
Tate Lee is not a very big, a wide body, a big, you don't see a lot, He's a very skinny kid, but he's a very strong kid.
Yeah, like a little firecracker.
He's got a very strong upper body, and if you're not going to willing to tackle him around the legs and around the waist, he will continue to have big gains for South Columbus.
South Columbus 1st and 10 from the Greene Central 32-yard line. Jet sweep motion to the right side. Number 14, Rajon Graham takes it around, cuts it back up the middle, gains down to about the 15-yard line of Greene Central. Great run.
Have you ever seen a man run through a keyhole?
He keeps his head up, and he sees the holes open up, and he knows in practice what's supposed to open up, and he just hits those spots. First down, South Columbus.
Great vision for a high school running back. He knows just where he wants to go and just where he wants to cut with the ball. 1st and 10, South Columbus on the 15. Hand off to Traquan Bellamy. Bellamy up the left side continues to chug his legs. It looks to be close to another first down.
Yeah, Greene Central's having a tough time stopping South Columbus. They may have made some adjustments, but, on this possession, it didn't look like the adjustments are working. It's going to be about 2nd and 3.
South Columbus can still get the first down without getting the touchdown.
On the 7-yard line, 3 yards for the first down.
Well, once again, handed off to Graham. Graham looks like he will pick up the first down. Be just about 2 yards short of a touchdown. 1st and goal for South Columbus.
Well, 1st and goal from the 4-yard line for South Columbus.
And I think the problem you have if South Columbus scores is you're only going to get but so many possessions in the second half if you're Greene Central, and there just may not be enough time to continue to get back in this ball game if they keep giving up scores.
Yeah, when you're down to teams and you can't stop them, it's hard to get ahead of them. So, Greene Central's got to make a stop to be able to get back in this football game.
Okay, South Columbus 1st and goal. Ivy hands the ball off to Rajon Graham. Sorry, to Traquan Bellamy. Bellamy is...
He's close to the...
And he is in for the touchdown. Traquan Bellamy needed 2 yards, got about 2 1/4, and he's in for the South Columbus score. South Columbus now up 41-22. This South Columbus offense, as advertised, very stout tonight.
Bellamy did a good job just keeping his feet moving. That's what we call weight room there. Our best against their best, and strength takes him on into the end zone.
South Columbus, with the person of Cardenas, looks to pick up the extra point.
Kicks up. It looks like it's good. South Columbus gets a point on the board.
Once again, back to a three-score ball game. South Columbus 42, Greene Central 22. We'll take about a minute for a quick spot, and we'll be right back here on 89.9 WZCO.
317-0229.
Knowledge can prepare students for a successful future. At BB&T, we encourage the pursuit of knowledge on and off the field. Because when students participate in sports, they learn important things, the benefits of teamwork, the power of preparation. That's why we're a proud sponsor of high school and college athletics, and why we offer banking programs designed just for students, so they can start moving in a brighter financial direction today. BB&T.
Member FDIC.
Carolina.
Okay, Brett Burrs, we are back. South Columbus continues to chug on offense. Yet to be stopped tonight, as you alertly told me during the break. I don't think South Columbus has punted once this evening.
Yeah, South Columbus has been moving the ball up the field. Greene Central haven't been able to stop them, and they just can't find the key to their defense. South Columbus is, working on all cylinders right now.
Kick once again, fair catch called by number 22, Dorienta Pigford, part of the all-name team for Greene Central. They will take over 1st and 10 on about their own 41-yard line. And I'll tell you something, Brett. Probably the best job if you want to get a letter in high school football is to be the South Columbus punter. I think he's punted maybe once or twice in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, they may not even practice it because they don't have to worry about using the game, So I don't even know who South Columbus's punter is. So maybe we won't have to see South Columbus won't have to put him out on the field tonight.
Next commercial break, I think we'll find that out for you.
Greene Central on their own 40-yard line.
Dupree back to pass once again. Has plenty of time. Finally gets flushed out. Almost hits a double-covered defender.
Is that intercepted? Oh.
Now rolled incomplete.
Well, like a good play. I'm on my number 14, Rajon Graham, to come up. The ball may have hit the turf there, or what they say. Both officials looked at each other like, did he catch it or whatever, and I think when in doubt, incomplete, and that's what they called it.
But I'll tell you, the officials in the stands, they think they know what they saw.
Yeah, well, the home field's going to think that was a interception, and we've got South Columbus got a few more fans than Greene Central, so.
One or two. So amazing that he almost got that thing into double coverage, though.
So 2nd down again, 2nd and 10 for Greene Central from their own 40-yard line. Trips right.
Ball handed off to Knowledge once again. Knowledge Branch.
Goes over the right side, gains about 3 yards. It's going to be 3rd and about 7 for Greene Central from their 45-yard line.
7:16 to go in the third quarter. Once again, now if you're Greene Central, you're not only fighting South Columbus, you're fighting the clock because you need as many possessions as you can get back in this ball game.
Yeah, Greene Central to keep it close, they've got to score here and then, make South Columbus, maybe a turnover or, maybe get a stop for South Columbus. So, big play here for Greene Central, and it may be 4-down territory right here because you're down, maybe about 20 points.
Once again, Dupree back in the shotgun. Now, Rise Knowledge Branch holds
Dupree
the ball
keeps it himself.
And he looks like he's off to the races. Dodge Dupree all the way down, and he will go in for the touchdown.
Did a great job of holding on to that ball as long as he could. There's a flag thrown after the play, and I don't know what that's going to be about.
56-yard touchdown for Knowledge Dupree. Rode Knowledge Branch for about 4 yards before taking the ball off himself. Used Branch as a blocker and takes it all the way into the end zone.
And I'm sure Coach Russell Dove is not happy with his defense right now. He did not want to give up, 30 points against Greene Central. So I'm sure he's going to, get on his defense and say, hey, it's time to rise to the occasion.
And I believe we do have a penalty here after the touchdown. The official talking to the Greene Central players.
It's not number 15 or 25 is pleading this case to the officials. I really don't know what this call is. The officials haven't given any kind of indication either way. He's getting ready to give us the call.
Okay, we have an unsportsmanlike. I think what I saw is I saw a Greene Central player kind of hooting and hollering a little bit excessive in his celebration, and that is definitely frowned upon in high school football. Yeah. Sportsmanship just as big a part as the X's and O's, and some of the life lessons these kids learn. It's going to make it looks like about a 13-yard try for an extra point.
Yeah, that was a big penalty because they were probably going to go for probably 2, and now you really can't go for 2, or it's going to be a lot tougher to get the 2 because you got to go about 20 yards to get 2 points. But they just showed it on the last play that they can do it. South Columbus has got to do a better job of finding a quarterback. I don't know who has quarterback responsibilities, but I'm sure Coach Dove will make sure that he knows those responsibilities from now on.
It's now a 14-point ball game. Every point precious. South Columbus not out of the woods yet. Have to keep their foot on the pedal.
And we're finally going to get back to play here after some discussion. Greene Central looks like they're going for 2 from their own 18, from South Columbus 18-yard line.
The longest extra point in high school football.
Look for Greene Central to keep running the same exact plays that they've been successful with. Shotgun formation.
High snap, corral. Dupree, flat-footed, throws to the back corner of the end zone. And
incomplete.
Looks like he's out of bounds just on that back line.
Trying to go to number 9, Zachville Smith, their wide receiver, their junior wide receiver. And he looks to be hurt on the play. Maybe he took a shot to the midsection or something like that.
Double covered. He may have had somebody come down on his ankle. And I think going back to South Columbus on defense right now, the big key I think we haven't really kind of talked about is that starting defensive end is still down there on the bench getting his ankle rewrapped. Right. And as a backup defensive end, and if I'm the South Columbus defensive coaching staff right now, I'm getting in the ear of my backup defensive end and coaching that young man up.
You know what? Greene Central's done a great job of not holding their head down. South Columbus has scored 42 points and you hadn't stopped them, and Greene Central's coming back too. It's turning out into a shootout here at OK Corral.
This is fantastic high school football. You can't ask for any more than both of these teams. You're talking about maybe 2-3 penalties tonight. Probably one of the best played games we've seen all year. Okay, I think right now if you're Greene Central, do you look at an onside kick here? I mean,
they've been squibbing it the whole time, so I probably don't see much difference coming. They may want to try to pin South Columbus deep if they can get it down that deep. But who knows what's in the playbook right here for Greene Central. They'll be kicking up from the 40-yard line toward what we call Whiteville, or the north end of the field.
Hard to believe Whiteville's north of here.
Yeah. Still waiting on the injury to walk off the field. He seems to be taking his time, maybe walking off the field over there. Maybe he's seeing if the crowd reacts to his injury. There he is. He's off the field, and I think we can get the game going.
Nice crowd tonight for South Columbus, first round of the state playoffs. Looks like if they win tonight, they'll be playing on Black Friday, which is interesting.
It looks like Latrell gets it again. Let's see what he can do. Up the left side, he's got an opening. A good block can get him going. He turns it back inside. And he steps out of bounds probably about the 32-yard line.
That young man has not heard his name called a lot this year, but he's coming up big right now.
The crowd's loving it.
I mean, good job by the young man getting a chance as a junior to pick up some, key downs on some big spots, and he's really made the most of his time tonight.
He's saying, Coach, I need some more playing time.
There's a young man that says, Coach, I'm a senior next year. And here's your problem. Once again, South Columbus back knocking on the door. Those big returns, he's had a couple of them in this ball game, and South Columbus picks the ball up 1st and 10 on about their 33-yard line. About the Greene Central 33-yard line.
And that's not what the Rams wanted. The Rams probably wanted to pin a little deep, and they had them deep and just couldn't make the tackle. Brown, made a great run over to the left side. South Columbus in a wing right, split left formation. And that's called their 100 formation, or used to be called the 100 formation.
Counter Trey once again to Traquan Bellamy. Bellamy takes it off the left side. He's around the corner all the way down to the 15-yard line.
That's been a bread and butter play for him tonight. Bellamy has ran that play very well tonight, and he's gained a bunch of yards off of it.
Counter Trey, very easy to design, very hard to stop.
South Columbus just keeps on rolling offensively. Ball's spotted on the 12-yard line. It's 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line of Greene Central.
And once again, the South Columbus punter back in the witness protection program. Counter Trey once again. He is up the middle, and he is into the end zone.
Touchdown.
Traquan Bellamy with looks like about a 12-yard touchdown. Traquan Bellamy having himself a night on that Counter Trey, and he is yet to be stopped on that play.
Yeah. There's a lot of jawing going on out there, and I think the officials are probably going to get with both teams and let them know this jawing's got to stop, because officials really don't put up with jawing on the football field here in high school sports.
And this is the time where you got to use your head. If you get ejected in a high school football game, you miss the next two, and you cannot afford in the playoffs to have even one man down.
Going for the extra point.
Cardenas with the kick. It's up, and it's good. South Columbus takes the lead, 49-28. Third quarter ball, and we've got a fantastic ball game for you. Come on back here in just a few minutes, and we'll be back to continue this game here on 89.9 WZCO.
Bonville is his family's 4th generation to serve the greater Tabor City area. Jake and his father, Leon, are proud to support CCCA athletic broadcasts.
First Bank provides financial products for both individuals and businesses. This includes checking and savings accounts, debit and credit cards, personal and business loans. First Bank also offers digital banking for your smartphone, tablet, and personal computer. First Bank has been in business since 1935, open Monday through Thursday, 9 until 5, Friday, 9 until 6. Tabor City Branch Manager Jessica Davis and her staff at 102 East 5th Street are glad to help bring you this evening's broadcast.
Overby School Services is your home for Jostens products. Local
Okay, we are back, 49-28. We have about 5 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the third quarter. Cardenas kicks off deep. Brandon having to reach all the way back is number 8, Tavon Barnes, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah.
The longest South Columbus kickoff I've seen in about 3 or 4 years.
And that ball died right after it went in the end zone. It would have been great for South Columbus if it had died on the 1-yard line and pinned them deep in their own end zone, in their own territory, but they pull it out to the 20 on the touchback.
It's just nice to see somebody kick it that far for a change. We've seen so many short kickoffs this year.
Yeah, Greene Central really wasn't expecting that. They had all their men up, and the ball just went right by them.
And here's the answer to the trivia question. Alejandro Noyola is the punter for South Columbus. Noyola having a very easy night punting the ball. Uh-oh. Knowledge Barnes takes the ball off from the 20, and he is all the way 29 yards later, and he is stopped for a big gain for Greene Central.
Yeah, South Columbus's defense is really not showing up in the second half. I don't know if they're missing assignments or what, but, Greene Central is running right down the throats of South Columbus.
Once again, that defensive end is conspicuous by his absence, and they're going right after it. Dive off the left-hand side, well diagnosed by the South Columbus defensive line. Josiah Small, Marcarius Brunson, those big fellows up front. And I'll tell you, there was just nothing happening on that play.
South Columbus did a great job of checking into the football there. Once they made a stop and slowed them down, you saw a bunch of black jerseys running in to check in, and that I'm sure that's going to make Coach Dove really happy on the defensive side. 2nd and 9
for Greene Central. We have 5:21 to go in the third quarter, and we have, looks like, 77 points on the board already.
And look for Greene Central to be doing the same thing, that run-pass option, holding it into the belly of the running back, and either the running back taking it or that quarterback.
Rides once again, number 24.
Cornelius Smith on the outside.
Cornelius Smith just not having much luck on that right-hand side. South Columbus strung it all the way out to the sidelines, and it's going to be 3rd and long once again for Greene Central.
Probably Knowledge Branch had to take a play off because he's ran a lot of plays, and I'm sure he's winded big time.
He was kind of shook up as he was actually the player that caused the quick officials timeout.
And Cornelius Smith stays in there at running back for Greene Central.
Greene Central going no huddle. Right. It was a good 6 yards. Dupree holds on to the ball. South Columbus defense up to the task, and he is taken out of bounds by number 57, Tanner Barnhill. Barnhill making a big play to stop him for the first down, and looks like it's going to be 4th and maybe 2 or 3 for Greene Central, and they're out of time now. They got to go for it.
Yeah, 4th and 2 from South Columbus's 45-yard line. They got to get to about the 43.5, so about 1.5 yards here to try to get the first down.
And they're just running out of possessions right now. South Columbus with a 21-point lead. And if you're Greene Central, I mean, this is do or die at this time of the game. Rise Barnhill once again keeps it himself. And he is stoned right there.
South Columbus did a good job of holding true there. Probably should have given it to number 24, Cornelius Smith, but he kept it himself, and, turnover on downs for Greene Central.
Big bar carries. Brunson was having none of that. Had him right at the point of attack, and usually you can get that man rocking a little bit, but he was stoned right there, and he was a wall.
That was a big stop for South Columbus because Greene Central would ran it down South Columbus's throat the whole second half, and that was a big stop for South Columbus. Let's see if South Columbus can stick one in the end zone here.
This might be the dagger if you're South Columbus, if you can manage to really just stem the tide and stem the momentum of Greene Central.
South Columbus from their own 45-yard line gains about 1 yard off the outside run. That was number 31, Latrell Brown, it looked like.
Give that man good to see him get a couple of carries in the ball game. I think he's earned them tonight.
Yep.
2nd and 9 for South Columbus. And if you're Greene Central, precious time ticking away with a 21-point lead. South Columbus looking to go on the score once again.
2nd and about 9 from the 45-yard line of South Columbus.
Crowner Trey once again goes to Traquan Bellamy. And Bellamy just is a wrecking ball running through the secondary and looks to have another first down for us.
Bellamy looks to be on a mission tonight. I think the Greene Central players have sort of got his attitude going, and he's taking it out on the football field, and that's what you want to do.
And this is, if you had a chance to watch the Stallions this year, this is what the Stallions like to do. They run east-west, they run you all around them in the first half, and they just run it right at you, and they're attacking you in the second half.
First down from Greene Central's 45-yard line.
Rajon Graham back the other side with that counter tray. Trying to break that last tackle. He's held on to the ball, and he's down for another 25-yard gain. South Columbus takes the ball from the 45 to the 20, and they got 1st and 10, and they look to score once again.
South Columbus so fast and quick in that backfield. You got your 2 running backs, and then you can come back with Tate Lee as the fullback. 3 good running backs, and you never know who's going to get that ball.
Actually, I take it back. I would say 4 good running backs because Brady Ivey can carry the ball very well himself. Yeah. Very athletic young man for a senior. And I'll tell you right now, South Columbus, deeper than most teams at the skill positions that they played most of this year, and it's showing up here in the playoffs.
South Columbus has 1st and 10 from the Greene Central 21-yard line.
South Columbus looking to put a 50 spot on the board probably for about the 2nd or 3rd time this year.
Jet sweep, Tate Lee up the middle. Looks like he gets about 8 yards down to the 11-yard line.
And this is Tate Lee time because you gashed him one side with Traquan Bellamy on that counter tray. You gashed him on the other side with Rajon Graham. And now you got him going east-west. And then you stick Tate Lee on that dive play up the middle, and there's just nobody to get him.
Yeah. South Columbus is going to be very successful if they can get 2nd and 1s and 2nd and 2s. They're 2nd and 1 right now from their own 13, from the Greene Central 13-yard line.
Ivy once again. Dive play, Tate Lee picking his way down to about the 7.
That's a first down for South Columbus.
South Columbus first and goal, and we have just over 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Seems like this has been a long third quarter.
And, South Columbus, they're okay with the clock running. A couple of yards here and there is what they want. And they got first down and goal from the Greene Central 7-yard line.
Greene Central just running out of precious seconds, just not enough time left in the ball game to get enough possessions to get themselves back in this thing.
Wing right, split left for South Columbus, jet motion across, giving Tate Lee 24 up the middle. Looks like he gets maybe 2-3 yards, keeps fighting.
Gotta love Tate Lee, 5'6" tacklers on him, and he's just chugging like a locomotive all the way. I mean, he is just so hard to bring down. And more importantly for South Columbus, they didn't get the score, but that clock continues to tick.
South Columbus second and goal from the 5-yard line. There's the penalty.
And I think we have an ejection by the young man. Unfortunately, I think he's ready to call it an evening.
Yeah, that had to be unsportsmanlike. They were standing around the official. It looked like Greene Central was jawing at the official, so I'm probably sure it's against Greene Central here. He's talking to South Columbus, so they're asking what South Columbus wants to do. He's probably going to move it, half the distance to the goal, probably put it on about the 2.5-yard line. And going to be automatic first down.
I mean, it's hard right now. I don't think he ejected him. He didn't give that sign. I think that just young man knew it was time to call it an evening.
Okay, maybe it's not automatic first down. So second and goal from the 2.5-yard line.
Penalty spots the ball down at the 2-yard line.
Looks like another penalty against the sideline of Greene Central.
And I think Coach Wooten's a little bit he didn't like the first call, and I think he got his money's worth.
And it looks like Coach Wooten's going to call a timeout, maybe to extend it. Maybe looks like he's staring at the officials a little bit, maybe getting that Cheney stare from Temple, if you know what I mean.
I think he wants to get his money's worth. He figures he's already got the flag. He wanted to make sure he has something to say.
Yeah, he's still talking to the officials about what's going on. And you know what? The coach is maybe standing up for his team, and, that's what you got to do. And, you just want to keep everything under control, though.
I mean, right now, if you're both of these teams, you really don't want this to get out of hand. Both teams have played a fine football game, and really it has been getting a little bit chippier in the second half. I mean, especially right now, if you're looking at, you really don't want to ruin a perfectly, good season with a bad memory here at the end of it.
I'm sure Coach Dove right now is telling his team, hey, make sure you do what you're supposed to do. We probably got another game next week. Don't get ejected. If they jaw at you, you just shake your head and keep on playing. I'm sure that's exactly what Coach Dove's telling them right now.
And very important to mention, if you get ejected in the high school sports contest, that's the next 2 ball games, and you're going to need every single person in that second and third round game. Looking like South Columbus will be the victor tonight, and you're going to play the winner of Southwest Onslow and Bertie, neither one of which is going to be a very easy game for South Columbus.
Well, South Columbus got a tough bracket to try to get to the big game, and like one of my famous wrestlers once said, to be the man, you got to beat the man. Woo! It's going to be second.
I think you kind of need to work on the impression a little bit. But
well, I didn't want to get too loud. Second down and goal from about the 2-yard line of Greene Central.
Officials timeout.
Probably checking to make sure it's still second down. Another flag. It's got to be on Greene Central because it was thrown in the backfield behind them. And it looks like number 7, Dupree, that's their running back going off the field. I don't know if he's ejected or what.
Not a good sequence right now if you're Greene Central.
Number 7's disqualified. That's their running back.
And their quarterback.
Yeah, that's not good. He's going down to the OK Corral to maybe collect his thoughts. And you got to keep your composure here. I mean, you're in front of a big crowd. You come all this way. You got to have composure here.
I mean, tough break for the senior captain from Greene Central. I mean, right now, if Greene Central right now, if I'm Coach Wooten, you've got to get your young man, and you got to get. This is where you demonstrate composure, and as a coach, you really need to talk to your folks.
Great play by number 16, coming up with a tackle.
Jared Fields from his outside linebacker position comes up and makes a big field, makes it third down.
3rd and goal from the 2.5-yard line. No gain there.
Kind of wondering what's so important that we've had 3 unsportsmanlike in the last 5 minutes.
Well, the kid's a senior, and he probably knows this is his last game. There's probably a lot of emotions going through his head right now. He is a 18-year-old kid. You got to understand that. Jet motion across. Looks like he's going to go in for the touchdown. That was
Rajon Graham with a 2-yard touchdown. South Columbus makes it 56-28. And South Columbus, again, as advertised with this offense, their defense is very stout, but it gets overshadowed by this offense sometimes. But it's hard not to just really appreciate the way South Columbus is playing right now.
The jet motion has hurt Greene Central all night long. The jet motion plays have been really big for South Columbus.
Cardenas once again to kick an extra point. Kick is up. And it is good.
Good.
With 34 seconds to go in the third quarter, South Columbus up 56-28. We'll take a quick spot. We'll be right back for the remaining part of this high school football playoff game.
3 board-certified orthopedic surgeons and 2 physician's assistants. The Wilmington location is open Monday through Friday. The Whiteville office is open Monday and Thursday, 8:30 until 5, and Friday, 8:30 until 4. For more information, visit carolinasportsmed.com.
Okay, we are back. Precious seconds to go here in the third quarter. And if you had a chance to watch a few seconds ago as we were at break, Coach Russell Dove gathered his team, right there at about the 40-yard line. And Brett Burrs, what was he telling his team?
Well, he's saying, guys, we got another game to play next week, and the biggest thing that Greene Central could probably do to us is, get one of us PO'd and get us kicked out of the game. So keep your composure. Do what you've done all year. Let's get through this last quarter, and let's get on to the next opponent.
I think right now the question is, do you put your JVs in? Because Greene Central still has a very good team and can put some points on the board. I think right now the question is, how much time do you give those second and third team kids?
I'm sure that's something that's going through his head. Kickoff deep to Greene Central. Fields it on the 15-yard line. Stutter step, still moving. Held and tackle. No, tackle. Misses the tackle. Still going. Knocked out about the 50-yard line.
Saquon Connor proven to be very elusive. Saquon Connor still playing hard, takes the ball all the way to midfield.
Yep. Number 20, Jaquan Jordan makes the tackle at the 50-yard line. Not what Coach Dove wanted. We had South Columbus had him pinned at about the 20. Let him slip, kept his feet moving, and took it out to the 50-yard line.
Let's see who comes in at quarterback. On the last series of defense, we saw Dupree ejected, so who will be taking the snaps for Greene Central?
Looks like number 12, Cole Dawson's going to be quarterback for Greene Central.
Final score, Southwest Onslow 54, Bertie 0. So it will be Southwest Onslow coming to Civitan Stadium on Black Friday, coincidentally enough, to play the winner of this ball game.
Cole Dawson, a sophomore, stepping in there.
Dawson, flat-footed, throws behind the receiver, almost picked off by number 44, looks like Reagan Worley.
Cole Dawson had a good spiral on that ball there. Just threw it right behind his receiver. 2nd down and 10 from the 50-yard line. It's going to be tough for Greene Central to, score points with their sophomore quarterback coming in here.
Credit Greene Central, though, they have not, stopped pushing the ball and trying to run their game. They just don't have enough horses at this point. Counter tray of their own to number 24.
Cornelius Smith. Fumbles.
Smith fumbles the ball, picked up by South Columbus.
And that's picked up by there's a flag on the play, picked up by number 7, Traquan Bellamy.
Looks like we had a face mask on. Greene Central add 15 more on the end of that return. And not just went from bad to worse if you're Greene Central.
Might have been an illegal block on the on Greene Central there. Looks like I'm maybe a block in the black.
Maybe a crackback, Brett?
Yeah.
It's either going to be a crackback or a 15-yard face mask.
Yeah, Greene Central getting a little dirty out there, and as a coach and leading kids in a high school program, you got to make sure your kids don't do that because you don't want to get anybody hurt or hurt anybody.
I think frustration gets to be to a point, and really I don't know if these young men are intentionally playing dirty. I think it's more along the lines of you just get frustrated, and as a young man, you just don't know how to handle those emotions, especially when you're a senior laden team, and I mean this is going to be your last ball game.
South Columbus gets the ball again from their own 43-yard line, 1st and 10. Split right, wing right. That's sort of tough to say. Tate Lee up the middle. Churns for about 6, 7, 8 yards over the 50-yard line.
Lee takes it to about midfield. That will be the final play of the third quarter. South Columbus on the run once again with a 56-28 lead. We'll be back in precious seconds with the final quarter of high school football on 89.9 WZCO.
To change from Armistice Day to Veterans Day to honor veterans of all wars, living or dead, not just from World War I.
This Monday, just take the time to acknowledge the veterans who kept the peace and freedom in the country.
This has been WZCO 89.9, your community radio. Have a good Veterans Day.
Woodman Life Financial Representative David Pless wants you to know that Woodman Life is a fraternal, not-for-profit company. Second, Woodman values relationships, stewardship, community, and accountability, and express its beliefs in the qualities Woodman hold most important. Let David Pless give you a full rundown of Woodman Life Insurance, annuities, and member benefits by calling 207-8042. Woodman Life and David Pless are proud to support CCCA sports broadcasts.
Okay, Brett Burrs, we got 36 to 48 minutes in the book. South Columbus with a 28-point lead. South Columbus looking to shut the door on Greene Central and welcome Southwest Onslow to Civitan Stadium 7 days from tonight. Black Friday, the kids will be off from school. Good chance to bring the whole family down for some good old-fashioned playoff football.
2nd and 3. Toss back to, looks like Rajon Graham. Gets over 45-yard line, another first down for South Columbus.
Once again, South Columbus very content to keep the ball on the ground and just milk the clock. And really, 3 yards in the cloud of dust does you a great job if you're South Columbus. Take your time, work the way down the field. It really doesn't matter if you score or not at this point, as long as you take precious seconds off the clock.
It looks like South Columbus has got some subs in there, like you said a while ago. Got number 80 coming into ball game, Peyton Ray, split in. Number 14, Rajon still in there. Number 3, there's Brown up the middle.
Wow. I mean, fantastic run by
Brown don't get a lot of runs, but he's making the most of everything he gets tonight. That's a first down for South Columbus.
I mean, that is one thing you can say for South Columbus. They're deeper than most teams. They haven't had to play a lot of games into the fourth quarter, so they had the opportunity to really develop these young men. And these subs for South Columbus are still very seasoned by this point in the year.
It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line for South Columbus. Marching down, trying to put some more points on the board.
Again, not only is South Columbus your enemy, but the clock is as well if you're Greene Central. Once again, up the middle, South Columbus continues.
That's Alejandro Noyola. getting some runs up the middle.
Russell Dove using the entire playbook. He's going to get everybody a carry tonight. Quality win if you're South Columbus. You cleaned up the penalties. You cleaned up the turnovers. And it really shows with South Columbus when you stop beating if you're South Columbus, when you don't make mental errors and you execute the way you're capable of executing, how good this offense really can look.
I think Coach Dove's going to be satisfied with all the aspects of the game. Maybe some defensive times during the game he's probably a little concerned with. But, hey, you coming out and putting 50, 60 points on the board.
Number 31, Latrell Brown, getting another carry.
He keeps
still
his feet
fighting
moving
for every yard.
He's going to be close to the first down, maybe a yard short.
And I'll tell you, Brown, there's a young man who you look at South Columbus and say, okay, what do you got for me next year? You look at Traquan Bellamy as a senior. You look at Graham as a junior. It looks like Latrell Brown's going to fill that spot vacated by Bellamy next year.
That's a first down for South Columbus. They're on their Greene Central 21-yard line.
Coming out party tonight for Latrell Brown.
He'll probably feel it in the morning. Noyola with a run up the middle. Looks like he got about 7, 8 yards. Noyola and Brown, the running backs now.
That says a lot for your feeder programs. You look at South Columbus year in, year out, always has a bevy of running backs. The middle school programs at Tabor City, Nakino, Williams really do a great job of teaching these young men. And it just, every year you see South Columbus, they don't, rebuild, they reload with those running backs.
Yep, they sure do. I've seen a lot of great ones come through South Columbus over the years, and we've got some this year also. Brown taking it off the right side and cuts it back up the middle. Looks like he gains probably about 6 or 7 more for a first down.
Greene Central in desperate need of a defensive stop, just can't get it, even these young running backs. And credit these young men from Greene Central. They're playing hard. It's just they're just out of gas. South Columbus offense is just ran them ragged tonight.
That's a first down. It's going to be first and goal from the 10-yard line for South Columbus. I think the defense of Greene Central is getting a little winded out there.
It's been such a tough night. Thunder's up here in the stands.
I'm sure it's cold out there.
He's probably the warmest person.
There's Latrell. Looks like for a touchdown.
Latrell Brown scores a touchdown. South Columbus puts up 62 at this point on Greene Central. And I'll tell you, everybody getting in the act if you're South Columbus.
I think Latrell wanted to take that ball home with him.
Latrell Brown said, I'm having such a great night. Coach, give me this one. I'll get it to you for 6. Brown takes the handoff, slides right to left. It goes into the end zone, and he scores. I believe that's his first touchdown for South Columbus.
I believe so, too. Extra point coming up, and it looks good from here.
It's up, and it is good. Our score here in the fourth quarter, South Columbus 63, Greene Central 28. We'll be back in just a few seconds for the rest of this high school football playoff game.
Products. Local Jostens Representative Charles Overby offers an assortment of jewelry and regalia to commemorate your high school achievements and memories. Overby School Services partners with your school to provide graduation items like caps, gowns, and announcements. Charles Overby will be visiting your school soon. To learn more about Jostens products, they may be found online at jostens.com.
Tonight's game on WZCO is sponsored by Parks Thomas and the staff of Riegelwood Mutual Drug. Riegelwood Mutual Drug has been filling prescriptions, advising, and serving customers since 1989. Located just off Highway 7476 at the Columbus-Brunswick line.
The Tabor City Medicine Mart at 220 South Main Street and Kuntz Medicine Mart on 7th Avenue in Chadron are locally owned community pharmacies. Both locations offer services that include conventional prescription filling, compounding, health screenings, immunizations, medical equipment, and free delivery. Tabor City and Kuntz Medicine Marts are open Monday through Friday, 8:30 until 6, and Saturdays, 8:30 till 3. They each now offer a mobile app for refills and pill reminders. Find out more by calling 653-4800 in Tabor City or 654-4194 for the Kuntz Medicine Mart store in Chadron.
Okay, we are back. Fourth quarter football, 8:42 to go. Cardenas with a quick kick. Fair catch call for by number 10, Jason Black. Okay, we got 2 number 10s. It could have been Tington or Black.
Either one.
Regardless, somebody called for a fair catch, and Greene Central's got the ball down by 35.
Greene Central takes over on their own 38-yard line, 1st and 10.
Okay, let's go ahead and call this a South Columbus win. Looks like, from all accounts, big win by Southwest Onslow tonight over Bertie. This first time, tell me a little bit about what you know traditionally about the Southwest Onslow football program.
Southwest Onslow, they're also Stallions, such as we are, and they traditionally have a really good football team. I've traveled over to Southwest Onslow. They're orange and black. We're black and silver, so it's going to be the Stallions versus the Stallions.
Quick hitch, try to get that pass in there quick. And number 8, Alejandro Noyola, separated the receiver from the football very quickly.
Yep. He had a chance to intercept that. It bounced off his pads. It's going to be 2nd and 10 from the 38-yard line again.
The receiver for Greene Central had to play defender on that one.
Well, give it to Greene Central. They're playing with a quarterback that's their 2nd string and a running back that's their 2nd string. So, you got to give it to those guys being out there.
Cornelius Smith has not stopped playing hard. Another big first down for Greene Central, picks up about 16 on the play.
Cornelius Smith, a sophomore also. So, you got a sophomore quarterback and a sophomore running back. So, this goes to show that Greene Central's got some good players coming up in the future.
I mean, Greene Central comes from a fantastic conference, play a lot of tough opponents, and just kind of outmanned tonight. But credit these kids from Greene Central, they're playing hard.
Yeah, they're playing to the final whistle, and that's what you want a team to do. 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line.
That is Knowledge Branch still in the ball game, takes the ball off the right side for about 7. Okay, 24 instead of 4. Unfortunately, my bifocals do need to be cleaned. You have any lens wipes out there? Bring them up to the press box.
It's okay. Been a long night. It's going to be 2nd down and 5 from the South Columbus 37-yard line.
South Columbus subling literally at this point, trying to keep their players healthy, cannot afford to go down. Any players, that's going to be a big game next Friday night against Southwest Onslow. Ball on the ground, recovered by South Columbus.
Looks like number 26, South Columbus, which is
Duncan.
Luke Duncan comes up with the recovery.
Duncan, son of Nakina principal Wendell Duncan. can hear folks rooting for Wendell up here at the press box, and I'll tell you something. These kids, I mean, they're trying to make their mark. They're going to have a memory here.
South Columbus takes over on their own 39-yard line. South Columbus just wanting to run the clock. You'll probably see a lot of, misdirection runs up the middle. But, these second kids, that's coming in to run, that they want to score too. And I don't see us taking a knee. I don't see South Columbus taking a knee or anything like that.
I think the key right now for South Columbus is you get as many of your starters as you safely can and stay healthy, because it's 7 precious days before a big second-round playoff game.
Brown and Noyola in the backfield again. It's like Noyola slips down as he runs up the middle.
I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm South Columbus, I am going to take Brandon Cox, who I believe is in a quarterback, and I will run a naked bootleg against this defense, because there is nobody taking the quarterback, when he puts that ball fake in. He pulls that ball out, does a naked bootleg out to the right, and he is still running.
It's good to see Brandon Cox to get some run there at quarterback. He ran the JV program for 2 years, and he actually came up and actually moved positions, but it's good to see him get behind and under center again here for South Columbus.
South Columbus had a number of quarterbacks in recent years who've done a fantastic job, been 2- and 3-year starters.
Number 20, is that Noyola up the middle?
Jaquan Jordan.
Jaquan Jordan. Jordan getting into the ball game.
And
moves it up to about the 50-yard line.
And I'll tell you, South Columbus, like we were talking about with these quarterbacks, Robbie Spencer a few years ago, picked up again this year ably by Brady Ivy, and number 11, Brandon Cox, only a junior, looks to be the heir apparent.
Yeah, Brandon knows the offense. He's ran it for 2 years on JV, and he's sit back and waited for Ivy for his senior year, and Brandon maybe take over his senior year. Noyal off the left side gains about 5 yards.
South Columbus just picking their way 4 and 5 yards at a pop, very content to just take their time, milk the 30-second clock, and continue to milk the clock down. We have 5:52 to go here in the fourth quarter. South Columbus comfortably ahead. And, again, the Southwest Onslow game, 7 days, coming after Thanksgiving. I mean, it's going to be a big night here at Civitan Stadium next Friday night.
Well, you always mark your season by if you're playing on Thanksgiving Day. Now, granted, the season was pushed back a week, so usually third round is Thanksgiving. This year, Thanksgiving will be second round. But still, you make it to the second round, you still had a good year in football.
Okay, Cox once again under center. Hands the ball off to Jaquan Jordan.
Not much there for Jaquan there. Looks like he lost about 2 yards.
Again, the object not to score or not to, belabor the point, but if you're South Columbus, you're just very happy that clock continues to tick.
And that's all Coach Dove wants to do. He wants to run that clock down. He could care less if he scored another point. I know the boys on the field want to score. So third down and about 7 for South Columbus from the Greene Central 47-yard line.
Hard not to stand up and applaud the South Columbus offense tonight. This is a state playoff game. These teams are all good to get to this point in the year and be in the state playoffs. And to be able to put 63 on somebody is quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, I'd love to know how many offensive yards South Columbus has tonight. I'm sure it's probably over 500 yards.
Stopped on third down, and we might see the first punt of the night by Alejandro Noyola.
I think we will. Let's see if we really do have a punter, or South Columbus really does have a punter.
I think Noyola has had maybe one punt in about 3 weeks. And that says something when you realize you're talking about the first round of the state playoffs, the de facto conference championship game against East Bladen, and going all the way as far back 2 weeks ago against a really strong Whiteville team, who I believe lost tonight as well.
Yep. So his legs should be real rested, but they're not punting. They're actually going to go for it on 4th and 7. You might see Brandon Cox drop back and throw a little pass here. You never know. Jet sweep. Makes a good cut. Looks like he's going to make it for the first down.
He does get first down yardage.
Noyola, he said, I'm not going to punt it, so I'm going to run
it. He's like, I'm going to get my varsity letter from somewhere.
That's a first down for South Columbus. Looks like it's spotted on the Greene Central 40-yard line.
Interesting play call, though, running the jet sweep to the short side of the field. I think I would expect if I was a Greene Central defender to run that to the wide side and try to use that real estate to my advantage. Caught him off balance and does pick up the first down and continues the clock rolling.
The jet sweep has been the nail in the coffin all night for Greene Central. South Columbus has done a good job using that motion, man.
Looks like we do have a bit of a running clock now, South Columbus, and continue to just run this clock down to the end. And
nice tackle by number 76 for Luke Hoskins for Greene Central.
Not exactly the way they drew that one up.
Came through the middle and made a tackle on Jaquan Jordan.
Clock still running down to 2:51.
Loss of about 2. Going to be second down and 12 for South Columbus.
So South Columbus will move on to the second round to play Southwest Onslow, the Battle of the Stallions, next week. I do not believe we will be broadcasting that game. It's going to be after Thanksgiving. It's going to be hard with schedules and students and everything being on break to get folks out to do that ball game. If you get a chance, come down to Civitan Stadium. Watch it live. It's going to be a fantastic ball game with a big crowd.
I think that maybe Latrell Brown keeping his legs moving up the middle. Looks like he falls down, gains about 8 yards.
Latrell Brown. Nice to meet you, Latrell. Latrell having a big night in a big spot. He's going to get his tonight.
Yeah, he may be a short guy, but he's very strong. He works out hard in the weight room. And he tries to make up for his size with his strength, and he's done a good job here tonight.
Latrell Brown making his case to get a starting job maybe next year. taking over for the graduating seniors.
South Columbus waiting to give the play to Brandon Cox. Tried a little time run off the
Down
clock.
to a minute 35 left to go in the ball game. Running clock now. South Columbus looking to get out of here healthy and play again 7 days from tonight.
Yep, Drake Bracey has checked in at split in, calling into plays for South Columbus.
Liberal substitutions by both teams at this point.
Yeah, that counter didn't look good for South Columbus with their second string in there. It just didn't work out for them. So it's going to be 3rd down and about 8 for South Columbus on their 38-yard line.
We are in the final minute of high school football here on 89.9 WZCO. And South Columbus with the lead. Marvelous night for football. South Columbus hitting on all cylinders, looking to make a deep run this year. South Columbus making a statement here in the first round that, hey, we're better than a 3 seed.
There's that number 25 checking in that we could never find out his name. He's probably a JV player that's been pulled up. We hadn't got him on the roster here. But some JV players actually getting in and getting some playing time.
That will be probably the last snap of the ball game.
Short of the first down. It's going to be a turnover on downs, go to Greene Central. Greene Central take over on their own 32-yard line.
One snap, and this will be in the books here on 89.9 WZCO. We thank you for joining us this week. And it looks like people are starting to head toward the exit. Brad, we are into Thanksgiving week already here in a lightning-fast school year.
Couldn't come soon enough. We all need a break. We've all had a tough first start of the year with our hurricane and everybody trying to get through with the hurricane and the cleanup. But I think everybody's back on track with the school systems and with the sports program. So
once again, basketball yet to be played. Brett and I will be covering in just a few weeks South Columbus and East Bladen starting on December 7th. Plenty of great high school sports. Tune in each and every Friday night to come and see some of the greatest high school action in Columbus County. Pass to number 25, Jada Evans. That does look to be the last. No.
Greene Central's going to try to let their sophomore quarterback get a couple of reps in here for some experience. I don't know if there's a player down.
Got an injury.
Yeah. Let's hope the kid's okay. You don't want to get injured on the last play of the football game. That's number 25, which is
Jada Evans.
Jada Evans, their wide receiver, took a lick there.
Tough. Good hard-fought football game. We had a little bit of chippiness there in the third quarter, and when it got out of hand. But credit these kids from Greene Central. They played hard all night long. They're obviously a well-coached, well-disciplined team up until, like I said, it got a little chippy there when it started to get out of hand. But these Greene Central kids, they'll be back. I'm looking up here, and I'm not seeing a whole lot of seniors up here.
Well, your season's over, and you know that you've worked hard since August 1st in blood, sweat, and tears, and you know that it's coming to an end tonight. And there's a lot of emotion out there. Back when I played high school sports, when you got that last loss of the year, it's pretty tough. Looks like another flag.
And I think a coach has said something to that official he was about tired of listening to.
Yeah, and is that the head coach that got that flag there, or? And it looks like the coach is being restrained on the sidelines. I don't think Greene Central is going to be happy about the way that they've showed themselves tonight with the penalties and stuff.
I think it's best everybody just get on the bus and we get to the house.
Yep. So there's going to be another unsportsmanlike penalty against Greene Central with 16 seconds left to go on the clock. Let's see what the official has to say about this one. There's really no place for that in high school sports. I've coached for 25 years, and I've become emotional, but it's just a game. You can't let it get the best of you.
Sadly, for some of these young men, this will be the last time for Greene Central that they do put on the pads, and that does make you very emotional. And again, part of what high school sports teaches you is to handle adversity and rough moment for these Greene Central kids, fans, and coaches. And we've kind of, I mean, we need to get back to making civility something that's important, and we need to demonstrate to our young men to handle situations like this. You may not have liked some calls tonight. You may not have liked the officiating, but important to keep your head and demonstrate for your young men how to maintain your temper and maintain your composure, and show be a good role model.
Yep. That's exactly, and that's what the high school federation, North Carolina High School Athletic Association does. They take big emphasis on sportsmanship and all that kind of stuff, and it's about all the kids. But that's the final score here tonight. South Columbus 63, Greene Central 28, and South Columbus will move on to play in the second round against Southwest Onslow Stallions here next Friday night, 7 o'clock.
Okay, we'll take a quick timeout. Brett and I'll be back to tie this thing up, and we will have just a few more moments to, like I said, put a button on this and look forward to next week as we enter second round playoff action next Friday night. We'll be back in just a few minutes.